Hey Bella, I just got your email the other day, and I figured I'd just make you a short video explaining stuff rather than trying to type it all out in an email. So, if we go down to week five, or week six, sorry, what we're gonna do, we have our warm up slides like normal, and so make sure you're doing your warm ups. But if we look at those warm up slides, what you'll notice is we had a weird warm up yesterday on Tuesday. So, um, if we look at that, it said what materials are needed to make batteries. And why we're talking about this is this mining for batteries assignment here. Okay. And so, what we're going to be doing this week is we're writing a short position paper. So, all a position paper is we have this issue, and there's kind of two sides to the issue. You're choosing a side that you think is the correct side or the side that you support, and you're kind of telling us why. Okay. And so, I attached an outline for this, but basically, to do that, we write an introduction where we're providing basic background information about the issue, and then our thesis statement. That's where you're saying like this is the answer. This is what I think is the answer. Then the body of this paper. We spend a little bit of time addressing the opposing view. So, what does the other side think? And why? And then you spend another paragraph talking about, okay, well, this is your position on it and why. Okay. Then this is kind of the interesting portion. So a lot of the time these are a little bit messy. So what you want to do is come up with a solution. How do we make this better? How do we actually make this work? So that's going to be kind of the interesting piece for this, just to see what you come up with. And then finally, the conclusion is you just kind of a brief summary of the paper itself, what you talked about, and then restating your position. So the purpose of doing this assignment, you remember at the beginning of the semester, we talked about putting together a presentation that allows us to visually um, have a good presentation and how to make slides look visually appealing and present that information. Now we're more focusing on how do we organize that information in a way that conveys our point effectively. And one of those ways is like a position paper. So again, if you click on this link, it talks a little bit more. Thank you. Talks a little bit more about um, how that uh, how that should look and how that'll work. So what we're doing this over is this idea of mining for nodules on the sea floor. So how is this connected to aquatic biology? That's how. And so basically, there's this big push for electric vehicles, and all electric vehicles and things like that need batteries, and to have batteries we need materials, and so we mine for those materials, and a lot of time we do that on land. Well, there's this company now that uh, found out that they can kind of vacuum these nodules off the seafloor that are very, very rich in the metals that we need to create batteries. So that's really what we're focusing our paper around. And so the big key question is, should companies be able to mine on the seafloor, mine the seafloor for these nodules? So that's what the paper is about. So this video here, I linked it in here as well. That's kind of the main piece to this, where we're going to kind of like develop our position on this. But if we look at these 6.1 ocean floor slides at the very bottom, we'll get to this part, right? And so it just kind of restates what we just went over with the position paper. It has this introduction video, and it just talks about what's driving the need for all these batteries. We have all these countries and basically banning the sale of gas-powered vehicles and saying we're going to go all electric, which is going to put a huge demand on these materials. And then this is a little bit about what this link is good. It shows what metals do we need to go into a battery. This is talking about how they get lithium for batteries. And then finally, the question is, this is kind of the big video. Now, this is the one that talks about these people that are mining the sea floor, collecting these nodules. And what we want to look at it from the standpoint of is this something that's good and is going to be beneficial, or is this something that's going to be harmful? So based on what the video says and your research, you need to decide, okay, is this something we should do? Or is this something that's maybe bad for the environment and bad for the seafloor? So you're gonna research, do a little bit of your research on your own beyond this video. So now again, with the paper, I forgot to say this. This should be about one page. Okay, so each of these aspects, the introduction should be a short paragraph. The body should be about 2 paragraphs, one for the opposing view, one for your view, about a paragraph for your solution, and a paragraph for the conclusion. Okay, so it's not this huge big research project. So just to give you an idea, they have today, Wednesday, to research this, and then we're going to talk about it Thursday. So it's not. It doesn't have to be anything that's huge and cumbersome and multiple sources, things like that. We just kind of want to just do a little bit of digging on your own as far as like, is this going to be good? Is this going to be bad? Why? Um, and find some evidence to kind of support your thoughts there. Some questions. These down here are questions that can kind of help maybe get you going. Like, um, where or how do we currently get materials for batteries? What organisms live on the seafloor, and what role do they play in the ecosystem? How does seafloor mining work more specifically? What are the environmental impacts of seafloor mining? What are other metals or materials going into batteries, and how do we obtain those? And then what are maybe some new battery technologies? That one might be something good for a solution here. So that's kind of it. That's what we're working on. It seems kind of like a lot, but once you watch the video, you'll kind of get a good feel for it. So let me know if you have any questions. All right, thanks.